Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the daily podcast in which we get to the heart of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, one enchanting minute at a time. I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Gerald Christopher Marcus Porter.
And today we are joined by podcasting's master of mime and Spinal Tap Minute host, Sean German. Welcome to the show, Sean.
Thank you very much, Pete.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you here.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was awkward, Tom.
Sorry, I know it was. Well, you both said something, and then I thought that I should say something, and I'll stop. I don't like talking to people. That's my problem.
No, definitely not in an elevator.
No, God,
That's like
don't
your
even
least
say
favorite.
it.
That's hell for you.
How
Talking
about
to
them
somebody
Cubs? Think they're going to pull through this year? I'm going to press all the buttons. Cool.
You're clawing at the elevator door.
Yeah. Every time it
We're
stops
like
at a
cats
floor
and dogs.
every time it stops at a floor and opens, you're like frantically pushing the door close button.
This is me. Ha, ha, ha.
Hurry, hurry.
Boy, it sure feels hot outside.
I know that. Don't you think I know that?
All right. We're here today to talk about minute 39, and minute 39 begins with a royal fanfare and Indy walking past 6 guards to tell the Prime Minister of Pankot hello, and it ends with a beautiful red sunset over a fairy tale palace. And I kind of like it, we get this horn fanfare right as we walk into the palace, and the horns sound almost like a shofar. And it kind of got me thinking, is Yahweh sitting here telling Indy, he's kind of like, you know what? You do okay with this Shiva business. Maybe in a year I'll have something else for you.
I like that. Well, I was wondering, first of all, that's an English horn, yes? I think it's an English horn.
Yeah, I think
it's
right.
an English horn. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is that the palace doorbell?
Yeah, they walk past the invisible
The sensor?
eye. That's that set off because I was wondering about that too. Because Chattar Lal just shows up immediately, almost like they were
they've been
expected or
announced.
something.
Now,
Yeah.
I have a theory about that we'll get to in 1 second. But I'm wondering, with the doorbell, the palace doorbell, horn fanfare, does Indy and Chattar Lal and the guards, do they all hear that? Or is that just there for the audience?
I honestly, you could go either way with it. I don't know.
I
like-
assume they heard it.
So you
But they
think
don't react.
that is an old school doorbell then?
Maybe,
Well, yeah, because they're inside the walls, but there's still this interior courtyard. So they're kind of inside, but they're not quite all the way inside. So you'd want to know someone's there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it could be a human doorbell, like a guy who sees them and then blows the horn.
Yeah.
And is like, presenting Hat Man, little kid, and lady.
Again, presenting the incredible journey.
Well, it's definitely not any of these completely frozen guards.
Yeah, right. What are they doing there?
They're kind of like the Queen's guards at Buckingham Palace, and I was wondering if there's a deleted scene where Indy and Willie are trying to make him laugh.
Yeah. You see those at the end credits.
I feel like St. Pete, as we all know, you have a mild anxiety disorder. I mean, aren't you worried that those guys are going to get an embolism? Like they're just sitting there for 12 hours, not moving, not flinching, not nothing. And if you look at their shoes, they're those curly little, tight, sort of narrow. They're not gonna help circulation.
No.
Well,
There's probably zero arch support too.
Oh God, yeah. And then you look at the guy on the steps. I don't know if he's the main guard, but he's kind of hunched over, like he's in distress. Like he looks like he's not going to make it much longer standing there.
Well, I was asking this. I think I was saying this last time, but there's something really weird about just the whole. Like we've heard that that the palace has been populated or whatever. There's a new Maharaja, and all we see is some guard. Like, I don't know. It seems like maybe it's because the palace grounds sort of seem sort of city-like in a way, or town-like. But it's just weird that like there's only some guards standing around and there's no activity.
Yeah.
Nobody's milling around or something. It seems weirdly like they're not supposed to be there or something.
Well, especially since they just left this village, and when you contrast the palace to the village, I mean, the palace has all this opulence, although it does appear to be deserted.
That's what. Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah,
It is.
it's like why would you open a palace and only have guards hanging out?
Well, do you think, like, I guess the Maharaja is part of the 1%?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what we got going on. But do any of you guys think that Pankot Palace might have like a delicious array of cheesecake?
I hope so. That'd be great.
Well, I mean, it looks.
But what makes you say that,
mentioned,
Gerry?
Well, you mentioned arches, Tom, and I'm thinking Pankot Palace looks exactly like the Cheesecake Factory. Like it's got the pillars, it got the cupolas, it's got a snotty host. Like I couldn't get that out. I was like, that looks like the Cheesecake Factory.
Could be. Well, Sean, I wanted to. I have things to say about Shorty and about Willie here, but before we do, since you're new and you just got here, and maybe we should get your take on Willie and Shorty before I say anything.
Okay, all right.
Just to put you on the spot. That's all.
Sure. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Willie's kind of grown on me. I will admit I was not crazy about Willie at first. But I think she holds her own. She's no Marion. Let's not get crazy. But it's tough. It's tough traveling around with Indy, and I think she makes the best of it. Short round, I think the less is said, the better. I'm not a fan.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right. And one thing I noticed, just while I have the attention, I'm going to jump in and notice, kind of building on that moment where they first appear in the courtyard. They're walking across, and Willie's barefoot. She's carrying her shoes.
Wow.
And we've seen this before. We've seen Marion running around Egypt barefoot, and now it's Willie. She's in India. She's changed since she was in the club. You know, she's got trousers, she's got a shirt, she's got a jacket. They couldn't find shoes. She's just going to be walking, dragging her heels around across Asia. I wonder what kind of traveling companion this Indiana fella is.
But wait, but she's carrying her shoes, right?
She's carrying heels, but
Yeah.
you can't, heels on stone like that. It's no
I guess
good.
so.
It's not a good combination.
Because she had them on in the jungle, we saw.
She took them off right before, like, I thought the last minute I thought she was cleaning off the bottom of her shoes, but she was actually taking them off, like, I guess to walk up the hill. So, yeah.
All right.
But I guess since symbolically, she died at some point earlier, and this is now the ghost of Willie Scott.
Yeah, no shoes.
There you go, no
means
shoes.
You're dead. But I asked because I have a positive thing to say about Willie right here. And we don't always have positive things to say. But yeah, I think just to catch you up, I think Pete and I are sort of in the tentatively, I don't know. Are you pro Willie, Pete? I don't even know. Would you call yourself pro Willie?
For the purposes of this show, I would call myself pro Willie.
You kind of have to be. Okay, fair enough.
Oh my God.
I'm sort of a Willie. I'm not a Willie agnostic. I like Willie. I don't dislike Willie. I think there are moments where she's not as strong as I would like her to be, like Marion, but at the same time, I think she's okay. Like, I enjoy her. She's a normal person thrown into a really tough situation and reacts like a normal person would in a lot of these things. And I think that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I'm sort of with Sean where, I went into the movie again after not seeing it for about, 20 years or something, and was expecting to hate her guts. And was kind of like, oh, I only sometimes hate her guts. And the times when I hate her guts are not even, I don't even know if it's her fault. Like, I don't even think of it as Willie as much as like the movie being stupid and lazy sometimes or something. But anyway, but right here, I like her a lot in this scene actually, because she's got a very good line that's well delivered. He's like, oh my gosh, Indiana Jones, the eminent archaeologist or whatever. And she's like, hard to believe, isn't it? And it's just kind of like, it's very simple, very direct, kind of underplayed, and it's nice. It's not like her doing a cartwheel because she sees a bug or something. She's just, kind of giving Indy a dig, and it works.
Yeah.
Almost Marion-like. Almost.
Almost. Well,
He's not going to take any of his guff.
I just sent you a text, Pete, to see what your answer is off the show.
Oh, my God.
We got secrets now?
Well, it appears that Chattar Lal has been awaiting Indy's arrival, right? And
Yeah.
I think the bats dropped a dime.
Yeah.
Could
Like
be.
I think,
Okay.
I think the bats are in on this. And as a matter of fact, I'm not entirely sure they're bats. I think they're stool pigeons.
Stool bats.
Yeah, they're stool
Stool
pigeons
bats.
because I mean, Chattar Lal, he knows Indy's coming. Why would the prime minister ever come out to meet you of any place?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you'd have it would be like a bib Fortuna.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be like a bib Fortuna that would come out.
Well, I'm wondering. I'm getting a little Pete-like here with my theories and stuff, but I'm wondering the way he's like. The first thing he says is like, "Oh, the eminent archaeologist." I'm wondering if Lao Che sent him a postcard saying, "Hey, if the scruffy archaeologist shows up, go real nuts about how famous he is, how you've heard about him, how he's so handsome and so cool. It'll knock him out. It'll be great."
Oh my God, I have a tear in my eye, Tom. I feel so proud right now.
Well, he said what Chattar Lal says here is, I remember first hearing your name when I was up at Oxford, and I was thinking like, was Indy an eminent archaeologist when he was a sophomore in college?
That is a little weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, how old is Chattar Lal here?
I know. Well, I know how. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Well, I was gonna say, Pete, you're not on that Wikipedia.
No.
Jones stuff again, are you?
Because my notes say, are these guys supposed to be the same age? Because Chattar Lal looks so much older than Indy. But I was curious, and I just looked up the two actors, and they are exactly the same age,
oh wow.
which kind of
Oh,
surprised
wow.
me. Because I was
Well,
like,
I mean, how old is Indy? I know it's a silly question to be maybe asking at minute 163, whatever we're at now on the Indiana Jones minute. But how old what is he, like mid-30s?
yeah, that'd be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Well,
think, okay, if
Harrison's 45, right? Or 44
here
when
now?
this is filmed.
Well, he's born in 42. This is 84, so he's probably
Yeah.
about 41. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Good for
Or
him.
42.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so if you think, all right, so if Chattar Lal, you like when he was back at Oxford, Pete, you said you assume he's older than Indy.
Uh-huh.
So you're like, and then I thought, well, okay, maybe he studied under Abner, and Abner Ravenwood was famous, and maybe they published something, and Abner published some famous work, and he gave Indy a little bit of credit.
Or Chattar Lal had the DVD set of Young Indiana Jones Chronicles that he watched in the dorm.
When you keep showing up places and people you've never met already know your name, you might be in a dream.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Or
What are you
anytime,
talking
like,
about?
Yeah, you walk into a place and you hear that trumpet fanfare.
Yeah.
There he is.
You're probably in a dream.
That doesn't
too.
happen in real life. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like that when I walk around, but
Yeah. It's only when you walk in the 7-Eleven and that little thing goes ding. That actually happens for everybody. That's not just you, Jerry.
Well, every time the guy's like, "Oh, you're Jerry Porter, that eminent drummer."
Yeah.
Oh, you're the guy who wants what's that stuff called? I don't know.
Come
What
on.
drink you get there?
I want the kombucha. No, I walk in and I go like, oh, did everybody hear that sad bell? That's just
Here he
me.
is again. He's going to ask us about Temple of Doom.
Well, I have a question here, and I think it's a big one. And it just dawned on me. We see Chattar Lal here, and I'm thinking, this is Belloq, right? This is Belloq. He's manicured. He's exceptionally well dressed. He went to Oxford. He's charming with the ladies. He knows Indy. Like, are they sort of drawing him or framing him to be like, we need a Belloq in this movie?
I never got that from him. I mean, you're right. He's Belloq-like in his nattiness and his manners and his, charm and stuff. But I don't know. It comes off better with him. Like, Belloq's is just sort of like a personal thing. Like, he was raised that way and stuff. And I guess Chattar Lal was too, but he's also like the prime minister, so it's like an occupational thing. I don't know. And he doesn't know Indy, so he can't really be as Belloq, I guess.
I'm not saying he's like the main bad guy, but he certainly has a Belloq air to him, and it seems like they were sort of doing that again.
Just getting a little class in there, a little polished.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I like it.
Now, are we all we've heard about Pankot is from the shaman in the village saying that an evil has come from there, and there's a new Maharaja, and there's a darkness over the land and everything. And so when we see this place and we see Chattar Lal, this friendly guy who's heard of Indiana Jones and everything, are we supposed to be like freaked out by him or suspicious of him, or? Because I'm not. I feel like if you read the screenplay, you're supposed to or something, but I'm not really getting that from him at all, or I'm not getting it from the movie. Like the movie's not.
Yeah, I just get like calm reassurance. Like, oh, here's a nice guy. Here's finally someone's going to help him.
Oh, some civilization after our trip through the jungle. Okay.
Well, Indy doesn't seem suspicious.
No.
Yeah, you're right. That's it. Maybe like.
And we take our cues from him.
Yeah, he's our guy.
And Shorty. Either he grabs Shorty by the ear and kind of starts dragging him inside, and Shorty just beams like he's like, "Ooh, cool."
He's real close to a cheek pinch there. There's no pinch, but it's close. And
look at you.
Shorty doesn't recoil. He's just like, "Oh, this is like a nice grandfatherly old man who's not going to cheat me at cards." So, all right, I'll go with it.
I bet there are a lot of kids here I can play with. This is gonna be fun.
But if you look at the scene, Chattar Lal actually comes from the darkness.
Oh, like
Yeah, like the way the scene's set up, Indy's coming from like, a light place outside, and then you see how Chattar Lal comes out. He's descending these little stairs. Yeah, definitely from the shadows. So they give you a little something that I don't know if this guy's to be trusted.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh. Buy it. He's got that. Yeah, I buy it.
Fair enough. I feel I'm never smart on this show.
I don't want to over, congratulate you or,
Don't get cocky, kid.
Yeah, don't get cocky.
Well,
I thought that was wonderful, Gerry. That was really magic.
Thank
there
you.
You go. I was leaving it for the guests to fawn over you.
Happy to come on the mime show. Thank you, Sean.
We will have you. Certainly, we'd love to have you. Absolutely.
But actually, question for Sean. We've been discussing short round and Indy's relationship, and is he his sidekick or his accomplice, or is there a paternal thing like a father-son thing? And how do you feel about that?
I think it's a little bit of all those things. I think there's a little bit of he's Indy's little bird. There's like kids can kind of get into corners and sneak into rooms that adults will get noticed. So it's good to have a small compatriot like that. I'm sure there's some fatherly feelings. At this point, Indy's a single guy and no children that we know of. And Shorty doesn't seem to have any family that's going to miss him when he goes off from Shanghai to India. So I think there's a little bit of that relationship there. I think it's natural, but at its foundation, it's a financial one. Indy's sort of a sponsor. He's paying the way. Although we never see him buy tickets or anything. He just seems to someone's rushing him on a plane and I get to fly for free because I'm Indiana Jones.
Eminent archaeologist.
Yeah, eminent archaeologist, and that gets you it gets you on a plane anywhere in the world.
Been flying for free since college.
I think it's one of those relationships I try not to look too closely at. It turns into some of the off-color things suggested about a team such as Batman and Robin. When you have an older man who spends an awful lot of time with a young boy, one could get the wrong idea. So I just, I'm not suggesting there's any of that. So that's why I don't want to think about it. So fine, they're, Indy, great. He's got a kid with him. Why not?
There you go. It's actually surprising that for a bunch of snarky jerks like us, we haven't quite gone there yet. we haven't approached that.
Well, I like how.
So I'm the snarky jerk. Okay.
Thank you. You broke the ice for us. Thank you.
Now we have someone to blame. Do you? I like how you said that you mentioned financial relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that. Yeah, and that would tie in with the fact that we've talked about. The short round. Short round seems to think he's coming to America, like when this is all done. And
There's a weird sadness there. There's
There's
an untold story that we don't want to know.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, it's the same thing Marion learned, that he's very intense. It's very fast. It's adventure. It's nonstop. And then one day he's gone.
Yeah.
And
Just
all
like
you have
Doctor
left are the
Who.
memories. Yeah.
On the plus side, though, in like 20 years, Indy's going to show up asking short round for that Giants cap, and it'll be okay again.
I had a note about that. I wasn't sure to bring it up. I don't think it's a Giants cap. I think it's the Yankees. I did a very little bit of searching, and Giants caps seem to be more closely to what the modern day Mets would wear. So I think it's a Yankees cap.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the first time
Did I
we've
just
heard
cross
that.
a line?
Well,
No,
if you notice, Pete is dead silent right now.
How do I
And
approach
I'm only silent because I don't know anything.
We can edit that part out if I.
No,
I
I want to
insult
see if you.
anybody.
I'll be curious to see if you're ripped to shreds online when you say that.
No, I did
And
believe-
I'm not even a baseball fan, and I'm certainly not a historian. So I did, I did a minute image search, just 1930s, because I thought it was Giants too. I think that's more interesting because it's Yankees are the big name and Babe Ruth and everything. Like, I thought Giants would be more interesting, and I searched New York Giants baseball 1930s cap, and they don't look anything like that.
No, but it's
Yankees.
actually not to be too controversial here, but it's if you look up New York Giants 1928, this is their late 20s cap.
It's,
And it's actually the
cap.
yeah. So like if you can look at like any of the players, and there are actually some pictures in color too, but this is actually the their famous.
There goes.
Well, I will certainly defer to the expert. I've only had 1 minute to.
I'm a
examine
Giant.
it.
I am a current Giants fan, so that is
Okay. Oh, then absolutely. So
There
that is
goes-
my one.
Combative Pete.
Yeah.
thank you for giving me enough rope to hang myself on that one. But
That's the angriest I've ever heard Pete before.
yeah, I apologize.
You can bleep all that if you need to.
It's a little uncomfortable in here.
It's like you're in the elevator.
Well,
Oh, where's that floor? Oh.
I was going to say, speaking of the elevator, Indy is horrible at small talk.
Yeah.
That's why you love him.
His response to finding out that this guy who he just randomly met at a palace, the prime minister of Pankot or whatever he is, has heard of him, his response is, oh. Oh, you don't say. Well, I'm going. I want to go now.
You know, what's interesting is he actually says we're on our way to Delhi. And what's interesting is obviously in the village he says, but Pankot's not on the way to Delhi.
Yeah, it's an obvious
Yeah.
lie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an obvious lie or he's hiding something. And it made me wonder, so where would these guys be coming from to get away with that line? Does Chattar Lal just have no clue what direction they approach the palace from?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Right, or is he trying to feel out Chattar Lal to see how much he knows? If he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're on our way to Delhi," and then if Chattar Lal's like, "How's that possible? You're coming from the wrong direction."
Well, no,
He'd
no,
be
no,
like,
the
"Oh."
Delhi. We want to get a ham on rye.
Yeah.
Like, would he just pull one of those? He'd be like, oh, Chattar Lal knows.
I love.
Well,
you know,
wait. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Pete.
Well, I was just gonna say we were talking. Now that we're at the introductions, we were talking a little bit about Short Round's theme, like getting a lot of prominent play in the minutes leading up to, like, almost the hero score of the music here. And he's the guy that also gets the James Bond introduction.
Right.
Short round.
Yeah.
Short round.
And he's super proud of it too. He like points at
Yeah.
his chest and he's like,
It's interesting. I wonder why I don't hate short round. A lot of people do. A lot of people like him, but a lot of people hate him. But I'm cool with him. I don't know. Like, I don't mind the short round business. I don't mind. Sometimes, like so far, there've only been moments where I've either been fine with him or he's been like a really, really authentic kid, and I've liked that a lot about him. Like, almost because of his like non-actory, non-totally English speakingness. I don't know. I'm good with him so far. We'll see.
Well, let's go to it. And Sean, we're gonna cut all this out. Why do you fucking hate the kid?
What's the matter with you?
No, I want to know. What's the problem? You don't like kids? No,
what the Giants ever do to you?
Why don't you like Short Round?
It's the association with Pete. It really does. But no, it's not his fault. But he has too many scenes where they cut to Short and he's laughing. And it's, the elephant has done something to Willie, or Willie's tripped, or something's going on. Willie's doing something funny, and then they cut to Short and he's laughing. And I'm like, I know something funny just happened. I mean, yes, he's a character in the movie, and yes, he laughs like a little kid would laugh. But it felt like a laugh track to me. Yeah. Even though it's a person, it's not just the sound. But yeah, it just kind of felt laugh tracky. And I'm like, I know Kate is in white and she fell off the elephant and she's in the mud. And that's funny. And I know I'm supposed to laugh at that. And I'm laughing. I am laughing really hard. And then and that kind of makes me self-conscious. And Short's laughing. And I'm like, well, no, I don't know. It's that funny.
Willie Scott fell off an elephant in front of a live studio audience. Well, it's funny because what you're describing is something that I hate. It sounds like I would hate that and I'd be right with you. But for some reason, I don't hate him.
Well, it's not every scene. It's not all the time, but it's...
I will not rest until I hate him.
But that's the whole reason I love him. Like, he's got this... like, he just beams from... Like, he just has this grin the entire movie and this like, infectious love of life. And he's just relentlessly positive, like when everybody else goes negative. And I think... For me, it's just fun. Like he's a constant.
You're right. You're right. I love him.
Pressure.
There you go.
The little scamp.
Spreading the love here.
Yeah.
But that's what's fun though, because now we've done enough minutes of Temple of Doom that we've had enough guests and enough discussion that you really do see how people see different scenes differently, or how they interpret things, or what what they grab hold onto in as the character or as the scene, and what they like, and it is diverse.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different flavors of opinion so far on both Willie and Shorty.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's part of what makes the movie so great, is that there are so many levels and so many directions you can be coming from.
Yeah, like you can dislike Willie for one thing, or another guy can dislike Willie for another thing, and someone else can dislike her for something else.
Yeah, it's great.
She's just in Chinese. She's that's great. How can you not like someone?
I was gonna say, you don't just have to throw tomatoes.
Yeah, you could throw pineapples. A Bosque pear.
Wait.
Sorry.
This just in, Professor Christy Porter says...
We need a theme song for this.
Yeah, we
do. A really quick little...
like one of those little news up like...
Where do you think the guards get the curly little shoes? So, and she did say, and it was interesting because we mentioned this about the bats and the monkey Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz, a little connection there with the vampire bat, stool pigeon, flying monkeys. She did say that the guards did kind of have those little shoes, and it was reminiscent of the Wizard of Oz and the palace.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Uniform supply store.
Yeah.
And they're gold. Yeah.
Well, it's opulent. It's opulent. Of course the shoes are gold.
It's the palace.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's one banana leaf on the other side of the hill.
Is it weird that Indy introduces himself as, when he says, "My name is Indiana Jones"? Like, is that weird for somebody who styles himself as a professional scientist, like to say "my name is" and then give a nickname?
Well, as far as we know, it's not a nickname. That's his name in 1984.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a good point.
He's never been called anything but.
But it is weird because I thought of that too, because ever since Last Crusade, it seems weird to me that he introduces himself as Indiana Jones. Like I do hear that as a nickname now, which is kind of too bad because I like that as his name.
That was his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, has anyone here ever introduced themselves by saying, "My name is"?
Well, I've never had a nickname.
What I mean, nickname
Thanks
or
for bringing
real
it up.
name? I mean, it kind of. Look, there's still like what, 80 minutes, 90 minutes left. You'll get one.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait.
But is it like? Why does he say my name is? Why doesn't he just say, "Hello, I'm Indiana Jones," or "I'm Indiana Jones," or just
You
what,
can
what
call
you
me
would say?
Indiana Jones.
It is
Maybe
a little
he-
formal. Yeah.
I think it's maybe he. I don't know. Maybe that's his like, I'm out of my country, type
Yeah.
voice. Introduction.
You don't think
Mine-
it's a? Well, I guess no. I was about to say, it's a Luke Skywalker thing, but Luke says I'm Luke Skywalker. He doesn't say my name is Luke Skywalker.
Right. Oh, you know what? Oh, God damn it. You're thinking of Anakin Skywalker. I'm a person and my name's Anakin.
That's great. I don't even know what you're talking about.
God
I
bless you.
saw those movies once.
Well, speaking of feeling good, Sean, if say somebody has a strong interest in the art of mime and the art of podcasting, or someone's a big Spinal Tap fan, where might somebody find you?
Somebody might find me at Spinal Tap Minute, a new podcast. Covers Spinal Tap 1 minute at a time, as you might have guessed from the name. And there's a website at spinaltapminute.com and Spinal Tap Minute on the Twitter and the Instagram. And look for that where your spinal podcasts are sold. And then if you do have an interest in mime or other things, there's another podcast, 5 Minutes of Mime, that is hosted by someone very much like me. It's a weekly podcast that's 5 minutes, and it's about mime. And check that out. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, that's great. I love the Mime podcast. It's terrific.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, it is at the top of my
And-
list of favorites.
No experience necessary if you're new to mime. If you haven't studied it previously, you're welcome. I try to gear it towards to all levels of interest and enthusiasms. So swing on by.
Yeah, definitely.
Just what you need in the middle of the day sometimes.
Yes, it is.
It is.
And Gerry, if somebody wanted to mime something to us about this show, where's a good place if say they wanted to leave us a message? How might they do that?
Oh, the best place would be to call 724 Lost Ark. That's 724 Lost Ark. That's the Indiana Jones Minute hotline. It's 24 hours a day, but we never answer. But you can leave a message. You can leave a message there for us, and please let us know. What do you think of Short Round? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Is the paternal thing weird? Let's not discuss that whole other thing that Sean broached. And I would say that's a great place. Please call, leave us a message, and we might put it on the show.
Yeah.
Free Lost Ark with every call. That's not true.
Yes, that is not true. And what is true, though, is that you can join us right back here where you found us today, where you always download our podcast, at the Indiana Jones Minute for minute 40 of, I'll say it again, the Indiana Jones Minute.
LOL!
Round?
Well, come on, Sean, let's hear it. Give it the best one.
Scott!
Wow, you really do like her.